We hold these truths to be self evident that all men are created equal, and they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among which are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Good evening, I'm Mills Lane, and this is American Culture Topics. Tonight, I discussed the reset button. So, as you know, my normal host is Trap Gardner. Unfortunately, Trap Gardner has some issues out there. I might have to get an intervention for Trap. Nah, I'm just kidding. He'd be all right. Whew. So, with all that being said, I find myself thinking about the reset button. No promo, no show promo tonight. This is going to be intimate to those who probably um, get the updates and alerts. So, when I was thinking about this, it's not going to be long either. I was thinking about the fact that, over the course of a few years, I say a few years, like a year and a half, we've covered a lot of different topics. So with that being said, it's interesting to go after and get things going with this topic. All right. So salute Mac J. Thank you for joining us on American Culture Topics, UGS Radio. Also co-host of uh, a show that we've seen on the YouTube before called Waking Up with Ruckus. I ain't gonna give him no gas. I'm gonna be light. I'm gonna be light. Yeah. Um, this is alerts only today. It's a little intimate setting. I'm not really talking about much. Just the reset button, because we had shows on Ruckus Radio and Ruckus Radio in the HUN network, and salute to them. And I went to look for them, and I didn't see them. I kept a tab as far as like a playlist on my page, and when I went to look for some of the old videos, they were there, and it got me to thinking. With the things going on in the Han Dynasty, what's going on this page, it might do me some service to revisit some of the previous topics. So, and I mean, we did a lot of different topics that, there's some great shows, and I enjoyed all of them. I'm pretty sure I can't replicate exactly how those shows went, but they were definitely some great shows. Um, I was trying to find the list of the topics that we covered, and we covered. We did a pet love show, gaming, porn, guns, celebrity overdosing, pimping, mental health, and hip hop, and plenty other American culture topics. So we did those on that other platform. And salute the Ruckus Radio podcast, the platform that we talking about right now. So why I'm not getting those comments up here, I don't know. But there you go. Yeah. So yeah. So we thinking about the reset button and Ruck, is it possible that those shows could still be available somehow? Or did we lose them in the the problem? Don't know. But what I do know is just because we talked about something a year ago, it can be a whole nother outlook on those topics as well. So it's not a guarantee that it's the end of it. I could have we could have different thoughts on said topics. So I look at it that way as well. And the possibilities that's behind that as well. So he said he got the hard drive. All right. That's what's up. Because it's gonna be one or two things. We was either gonna revisit or try to hook up with you and get through that. So let's say there's a lot of topics. And of course we got other new topics, things that happen, that are part of American culture. I just haven't looking at this reset. Springtime's like right around the corner. I'd love to start getting into some of these topics. So, you guys, I'll say what's good to you. And yeah, definitely sit back and enjoy your Thursday evening. Yeah. Resets. What are they? It's the idea of starting over. Those of us who grew up in the video game era, we are very much familiar with the reset button that was on some of the game systems. It's basically possibly there, Rich. We're just looking. I'm looking at the landscape of the shows, and did I want to rehash some of these old topics that are, of course, current, or did we want to just replay the show? So that was that came up, but I look at the resets and something that doesn't happen enough in American culture. It tends to only happen when somebody makes a big mistake. Examples are like if somebody's got caught doing some type of criminal act or they got caught cheating on their spouse. Those are some of the times that people have reset and been able to try to work their way back into society. But as far as the reset culture in America, it's few far in between. We found some businesses that have done a good job at resetting, especially once things go wrong in their setup. I could think of a company that was able to survive the reset, like Denny's, where it was at one point that people thought that they had racism through the people that worked at these Denny's, and started getting boycotted by Al and Jesse and folks of that nature. So what they end up doing is having a reset and come up with a better plan as to how they would get black people and those who don't like racist people back into their companies. Another company that I know that had these issues was Texaco, where it seemed to be no black people in the bigger, establishments, I should say, in the hierarchy of the company, where they had to be talked to as well about what they weren't doing. So I just look at it all the way around. Denny's good money. Yeah, big facts. Big facts. The Yeah, I mean, people like that. Man, if they open, you know, I've eaten there. I have no problem eating there. But of course, I know they had to go through restructuring and that reset. A couple of years ago in Philadelphia, we had the issue with the two black men getting arrested for sitting in Starbucks, because they didn't order anything. They were sitting there, and so the cops were called on them. So these businesses, again, had to reset. And they had to shut down. They went to as far as to shut down their whole employment and have them go through sensitivity and racial training because of the reset. So reset culture in America, it seems to be forced. It's never something that we look at. When I come through with the solution aspect, I think about things we talk about today: police brutality. We talk about reparations. We talk about how inequality. So when we talk about these different things, there's no reset. The reset's not going to happen up front. It seems to always happen after the fact, after somebody's been caught doing something incorrect. So the more businesses we tie to slave money, the more opportunity we get to get the reset. I know it was one university that realized that their backing, their financial backing, came from slave labor money. So they decided to, as a reparation, offer, college to students for a better price. Yeah. Uh-oh. Chipotle. Chipotle, they don't have no resets, but they will reset your body. So be prepared for bad underwear. But yeah, other than that, when it comes to people have a tough time resetting. We look at New Year's as the time when people decide to do a reset. So when they hit that reset button, they're thinking about going to the gym and I'm thinking about, like, yeah, I tried to hit that reset button and I haven't been to the gym in like over 3 weeks. And I'm sitting here like, well, what's the excuse? I thought I was hitting that reset button. I thought I was going to get things in process and then flow. But like I said, sometimes it's that extra push, it's that extra kick to get you into that reset mode. Family is another one where you may have personal relationships with friends or families and people that you haven't talked to in a while, and you need to restart that relationship. So it's a culture in itself, but it's more of an idea. I think the culture piece comes in with the mass and the companies, but the actual idea of actually resetting and just, putting things aside, those in the Christian world understand like the serenity prayer and things of that nature where, you ask for strength to deal with the things you can control, and things you can't, wisdom to know that you can't, and definite wisdom to know the difference between the both. But that's a piece of it. That's another piece. Like I said, this was a non promoted show. If you're just joining in, Trap Gardner has some issues that he had to take care of. I tried to call him around 6:30. He was unable. So thus we do a solo topic. And I thought about the reset button. I was thinking about the old shows and the old topics that we discussed. Was it worth revisiting? I was thinking about an episode we did called Pundit Culture, where we talked about people like myself, Mac J, Ruckus, a host of people that had shows. So I made like a picture of all of the shows, and it was funny that just looking at the people that sat down and started a show. But then, if you were to look today, probably more than half of those shows aren't still on. You know, we know Let's Talk That Shit is still on, but D Holla be sleep. So, but the show's still there, but he's not aware. But yeah. So it's just interesting to just think about that reset. I think about the amount of things that require a reset. And I was talking about family and friends. Yeah. A good friend. Rich hit the reset button. We haven't done a show yet. Right? Rich, yeah, he made his move, but hey, he'd be all right. He'd be back. He said he'd be back. I take his word. But yeah, you can have a friend. I have friends I haven't seen in years, but we left on good terms. So I'm okay knowing that when I see them, it's just gonna be, hey, what's up? How you? All right. And it keeps on going. It's no hard feelings. But it could be a reset. And, the reset is, hey, they left town and now they're back in town, or maybe they have a business venture that they know about and they can help out, or vice versa. The network can start again. So some of the resets. I'm not going to touch in. Yeah, I could lightly touch in to the YouTube streets, the resets. You enter at your own risk. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't tell nobody they should rekindle or reset their relationship with people. I think they should reset how they deal with it. But that's like I said, all that's enter at your own risk. This YouTube stuff is weird sometimes. But yeah, it's just hitting those reset buttons, And yeah. So to close on the reset button culture. Am I there? No, I haven't touched everything. So yeah, when it comes to I say YouTube, but with the social media aspect of it, your thoughts and your ideas grow over time. I find it tough to understand when, let's say, a celebrity. I think Kevin Hart is a good example of this one, where he might have said some things that were considered anti-homosexual, but when he said it out of a place of comedy, and it was a different time. But once he made that tweet, let's say it was in 2011, and they're looking at it in 2018 in a different mindset as that group, the LGBTQ plus group, has now established a stronghold in their want to be mainstream, where they can shame someone in out of whatever they're doing. So I'm pretty sure if you talk to Kevin Hart today, he wouldn't say the things that he said then. And that's part of that reset culture, where it's not always I should say, because he's had a chance to learn more and get more information. That's the thing. We don't have all the information. I never will ever claim to have all the answers, but with research and with time, you start to understand that what's my view? Well, obviously, my view is I don't care about what you do personally, long as what you're doing personally is not affect me personally, because this is America and that's how it's supposed to be. But you that's how you grow. You only grow through time. So it's a reset. But am I gonna go into my old stuff? Like I know I got some nasty stuff on the internet. Or I probably said something nasty in the chat. And my thoughts was probably out of humor. But if it's seen in incorrect way and somebody's wrong and mad about it, and they try to hold it against me for one of these groups, then it's me having to face that group and say, hey, yes, I said it. But have I been educated into not being able to say it? Because if that's not the case, then there's nothing I can say but say it again. So that's all. That's it. And it's a reset. 10 years ago, me thinks different than today's me. That guy was in his 20s anyway. But yeah, I'm just saying, that type of stuff happens. That's how we roll out here. So with the social media resets, your friends and family resets, corporational resets, personal resets. Let you know about the dog. The dog's reset is the easiest because his brain's resets like that. The goldfish, his brain resets even faster. So with our humanality and the way that we have to think things through all the time, it probably helps to reset with something. I'm not gonna say what. That probably would help somebody reset. But other than that, y'all know I don't jump into those current topics too often because it's not what we're about over here. We could talk about it. I do feel like Nicki Minaj hit the reset on me. Nicki said she was going to retire. So we jumped up and did a show for Nicki Minaj, honoring her and her retirement from hip hop, only for her not to actually retire. So I feel set up. I feel like I was trolled. But other than that, that concludes the American culture topic of the reset button. So on this day in history, February 27th, the year will be 1980. There's a Grammy Award show, and the song I Will Survive wins the first and last best disco recording. So I know you guys are familiar that the music that came through, Salute the Bonnet. Salute Bonnet. Thanks for joining us. And what's up though? Yeah, we hitting that reset button tonight. But you'll have to tune in or stream back to hear about that. And Trap is out on he had a personal issue. But I Will Survive, written sung by Gloria Gaynor, And in the 70s, the disco music kind of took over the scene. So disco was, running this thing. And the Grammys finally said, okay. So in 1980, they had a best disco recording, and Gloria Gaynor's I Will Survive won that Grammy. But sadly to say, in 1981, there was no best disco recording Grammys. Kind of was over because somebody had in Mac J's town and the Chicago White Sox, they had a night called the Disco Sucks promotional night. So they were kind of doing a lot of nastiness at this game. I think they were kind of throwing stuff. It just was a nasty night. I think they had to have a postponement of the game. So those Chicago folks kind of helped in disco. So with all that being said, this has been a quick episode of American Culture Topics. Like I said, I did not promote the episode. Let's check my YouTube. Okay. All right. I'm gonna check that out, sir. Most definitely. And thank you guys for joining us here in American Culture Topics. If you would like to donate to the platform, you can do so by hitting the Cash App at $ Mills Lane ACT, or you can donate by PayPal. That's paypal.me/Mills Lane, or paypal.me/Trap Gardner. We get Trap back on the spot. See what he's going to talk about next week. We're going to check out them shows, see what we got going on out and about. But for Trap Gardner, I'm Mills Lane. Thank you for joining us on American Culture Topics. With liberty and justice for all. Salute.